Hey everyone, Wander here, and welcome to Dragonkin the Banished. It just hit 1.0 and I figured I'd check it out. Specifically, it's an ARPG. It's, it's pretty standard Diablo from what I can tell. But with like a nice level of AA polish, which can be good and bad, I don't know. I've been sitting on this one for a while because I think it had a bit of a rough early access launch and a very quiet 1.0, but as somebody who grew up with the Diablo games, I figured I'd check it out, especially because it seems like a lot of the launch reviews are pretty good, apart from maybe like a handful of crashes. So create a character, create a city. That's interesting. We're going to do story, play the prologue. Immerse yourself in the world of Dragonkin. Experience a scripted battle of epic proportions by taking on a persona of each of the four heads of the Alliance, before going on to set out an adventure of your very own. Interesting. And we'll see what the prologue looks like. I think it had a quiet release because I think Nacon, the publisher, is having some difficulties at the moment. I want to say it was even like, was it bankruptcy?
When time first began, the Eternal gave life to powerful beings of light, the Drakeels. But as misfortune would have it, the power given to these creatures awoke in them only a boundless pride and an inexhaustible thirst for dominion. Shaken by this betrayal, the Eternal banished them to the deepest abyss of Dracomundus. It was there, in the depths of the earth, that they twisted into the monstrosities that we know today as dragons. Alas, possessed more than ever by hate and vanity, the Banished refused to admit themselves defeated. Through their voices, they persisted in corrupting humanity. Through their blood, they defined the land we call our home. From that moment on, mankind would live in fear. Fear that one of the Dragon Lords, the most powerful of the Banished, would one day return to the surface. With the support of his Dragonkin, Saw Ichnog succeeded in escaping from his subterranean prison. And brave souls, guided by the light, rose up and vowed to push him back. Soldiers of the Order, righteous and faithful to the Eternal, who suffered body and soul after coming into contact with draconic corruption. Rare were those who remained impervious to the depraved whispers of the dragons on the outskirts of this gaping breach. One such person was Godefroy of Clairval, Grand Knight of the Order of the Eternal.
Okay.
The voice of the Dragon Lord blighted people's spirits and petrified their bodies, instilling terror and madness into those who heard it. Never before had a breach so vast been rent between the two worlds. It was here, at this wound between worlds, that the corruption was most potent. One by one, haunted by the whispers from below, the people succumbed to madness.
Well, I have to say, this is kind of a fun prologue of a, like, hey, here's what the game actually has to offer if you get, like, all the way to the end and get to, like, end-game content and abilities and whatnot. I don't actually know, like, where it stacks up in terms of, like, this is what an actual, like, maxed-out character is going to look like, but this is actually on the weaker side. Or maybe it's on the more powerful side. But I do actually kind of like it when games do this, of a, like, here's the prologue, just have fun for a little while.
Pitiful in their wretchedness, and too weak to resist the command of their new masters, they drank the blood of the dragon and gave in to depravity.
There we go. guy has big pokey. What is... Oh, I see. It just goes to dragon hell.
Thus enslaved, they were twisted into ghastly monsters, mockeries, Dragonkin.
Now, it seems like I can just kind of spam my abilities. I have a resource meter, but it is inexhaustible. Well, alright. Big sweeps for everybody. It seems like most of the enemies can't even do any damage to me. Well, I mean, as a prologue, it'd be pretty embarrassing if I could lose it. Wouldn't be the first time, though. I've lost a lot of prologues in games. Okay, not that many. I mean, it looks nice. I'm getting really hard Wolcen vibes from this. Which, I mean, shouldn't be too much of a surprise. AA hack-and-slash action RPG.
Filled with these fleeting embers of hope, a few brave souls founded an alliance to carve the first breach into draconic defenses.
I love the dude's, like, extendo shield.
Here, the Dragonkin's power was strong. It fused our world with that of the Banished. Godefroy of Clairval heroically broke through and shattered their defense barriers. This act of bravery, a feat of the righteous alliance of men, allowed me to lend aid to the Knights of the Order of the Eternal. Me, Almantir, Grand Oracle of Pythodurcan, Dragon Blood, a human altered but not consumed by the draconic blood that flows through my veins. My sisters and I have powers given to us by the dragon, but our souls remain our own.
Oh, that's kind of fun. So what they're doing here, I think, is previewing each of the classes that you can play as during the prologue. So you can play as good old Lanceman. Okay,
Neither
so we have
Dragonkin
Electric Wave.
nor entirely human, and afforded extraordinary abilities by our forebearers. By those who drank the blood of the only banished dragon to have ever repented before the Eternal.
Okay, so I've got a big explode. I've got a tele-explode. I've got a kind of delayed blast.
Not yet. I may prepare you.
Okay, so she does run out of juice eventually. Yeah, neat way to handle kind of a prologue. You get the story, but you do get that preview on the different characters. I am going to go into the audio and turn down the gameplay voices. We don't need that much. And where's the sound effects? Sound effects we don't need either. Oh, they're actually tied. That's fun. Let's see, anything else? Cinematics volume we can keep up, and voice volume I can crank up more. It's not a water video without messing with the audio settings. At least when voices are involved. Okay, that's a little bit more tolerable. It was getting a little hard to talk over.
These few drops of draconic
that's
blood
better.
connected our thoughts to those of the dragons.
Yeah, so different way to introduce each of the
With
characters
that understanding
smoothly.
came a vulnerability. We soon learned that we were at the mercy of their whispers. The voices threatened to consume us, with no hope of salvation. Our civilization fell alongside the blue dragon Pythodurcan, forcing us to live amongst men in the city of the Order of the Eternal.
Okay, so she's actually got, like, really good range. Not sure if I like her damage as much. The other guy was a lot faster. She's a little slower on the hits, but I guess maybe it's just her auto attack is kind of bad. Whereas Lance guy, kind of you could just spam. I mean, I guess with her I can spam too. Yeah, so I think I just should be spamming 1, 2, and 3. The right click, it doesn't do enough damage to like really be worth it. Okay, so she has some cooldowns that we actually need to consider. At least a little bit. Okay, the right click is actually quite good. Just don't spam it.
Closer to the breach made by Sir Ichnog, Godefroy, fighting fire with fire, confronted the draconic hordes. I battled by his side, but my strategy was less direct. My draconic power allowed me to open up a passageway for the men of Nurogard, all of them prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice to save what remained of humanity. Once this invisible barrier had been breached, they knew that their lives would hang by mere threads. But these warriors from the north cared little for the uncertainties of our plan. A hero's death in the heat of battle with their enemy was the greatest honor that could befall them. Led by the pale dragon blood Harold Truelson, the barbarian fleet had but one objective: to lure the enemy into the open sea and leave the path to the breach vulnerable. If a single vessel reached the coast, then this sacrifice would not have been for naught. Harold Truelson reached the hostile shore and avenged those fallen from the Toriel clan. The barbarians of Nurogard feared neither pain nor death, and they welcomed violence as they might an old and familiar friend. Truelson knew this friend better than most.
So, other thing about this is that the prologue is completely optional. Once you've done it, well, you don't ever have to do it if you don't want to. But then after that, you can just like pick your character and continue on as normal.
A select few, highly trained clansmen, risking their lives in the process, had successfully imbibed the pale dragon's blood without succumbing to the corrupting voices. Among them was Truelson.
But you can also skip the story entirely if it does not appeal to you. You can just say, nope, don't care, and just go straight to the end game, which also is really nice.
To become a dragon blood barbarian, he paid the ultimate price and cast away a portion of his humanity. In exchange, he received draconic powers that he put to use for the Toriel clan, the Eternal, and humanity at large.
Okay, I usually don't like whirlwind attacks in these games because it just isn't that good. Here it's amazing. I'll have to work on ways to keep my mana high, but I think I'm going to play the Barbarian when
The pale dragon blood had achieved his goal. The Alliance's plan, as unlikely as it was to succeed, could run its course.
I love the idea of eldritch horror dragons. A giant, like, weird worm launcher. That's barely a dragon. It's...
The barbarian waited for the signal that would tell him where to carve a bloody path through enemy defenses and lure the dragons far away from the breach. The Kongirati nomads, every bit as proud and as fearless as the warriors from the north, joined the alliance of men to help push back Sor Iknog, the Crimson Dragon. Sitting astride their draconic hybrids, these tracker archers faced the dragon steadfastly and seemingly without fear. Not one would allow the enemy to make easy prey of them. Hides, wings, teeth, blood. For the Kongirati, each draconic monstrosity was not only a threat, but also a quarry from which they could gain valuable resources.
The poor horsebird dragon.
And where others had begged and prayed for divine salvation, these nomads made full use of anything the earth and providence offered them in order to survive.
Okay, so
Their master tracker Eula, however, did not see things in such stark shades of black and white. Of all those who made up their number, she was the first to recognize the value of this eternal light. How long would her people be able to continue traveling freely if the corruption were to poison the entire world?
okay, the archer seems pretty good too. A lot of big AoEs, nice and zippy. I was not enjoying the Dragon Lady nearly as much, but this is just like zoom zoom in a good way. It helps when you can just right click and just sweet kill everything. And the regular attack seems kind of punchy. Yeah, it was the Dragon Lady's hits only hit for like 1,000 with a regular attack. The archer is hitting for like 8,000 2 or 3 times per shot. Okay.
To seal this union, the Order of the Eternal entrusted her with one of their most powerful relics, a single, glimmering scale of light. Each champion had one, and the power of their light would be needed to push Sor Iknog back into the shadows.
Okay, cool. You can do the usual shift to fire without moving. Always throws me off on ranged characters in some of these games. And every once in a while I'll play an ARPG where you can't do shifts to lock yourself in place and keep shooting, and it feels weird. I should check if this has good controller controls, but my controller is not plugged in. Oh, it's another Draco Demon. There we go. I've got a healing potion. I've got a dodge.
It was up to Eula, armed with her scale of light, to cast the invocation. She would then know whether she had been right to put her trust in the Order and in joining the Alliance.
I rolled just as the cutscene started, and so she did a really weird turbo run.
The power of the light was like nothing ever seen before. We heard the Dragon Lord howl into our minds, racked with pain and rage. So close to the Dracomundus, our souls suffered as from 1,000 deaths, but we held fast to our positions. Inch by inch, the divine light pushed the corruption back into the breach, and it was thus that the banished Lord Sor Iknog disappeared once more into the shadows, where he would suffer eternal retribution. Once calm fell, we were all that was left, the sole witnesses to the feat accomplished by the Alliance of Men. But more than ever, we knew that the taint of draconic depravity still festered in the depths of the abyss, impatient to break free once more. Thus, from the union of men and their allies that stood together in the face of the draconic threat, an elite corps was established within the Order of the Eternal, the Dragon Hunters.
Yeah, it's a little overproduced, but honestly, I kind of like it. I appreciate when a developer punches way above their weight. So it can be Lorthair of Montraget, Electrain, Rurik Haraldson, or Karatani. I'm gonna be this guy. He got Speen, we do Speen.
Perhaps the heroes that the Alliance of Men has been waiting for will be found among this unit's latest recruits.
I've been trying to play more mage characters recently, but every once in a while I just come across a game where I'm like, no, sometimes it's just best to be big bunkus. Okay, it wants me to go in my inventory, equip that, and then we can break our way through. Big Ups does have AoE attacks. It's something, I don't remember which ARPG started that trend. Maybe it was as early as Titan Quest, but like, I'm pretty sure in Diablo 2, all of your attacks were very much like, hit the one enemy you target, and now they're starting to add just like a little bit of a sweep to the attack. Cows. In a way that feels good to me, at least. Also, stuff like, you know, dodge roll, both for positioning and avoiding big attacks. Seems like potions automatically recover, so you don't have to, like, carry a stack of them around. I recognize some people like having, like, lootable potions, but I found that to be actually one of the most, like, annoying chores in Diablo. I should go back and play Diablo. Well, no. I say I should, but I want to, and I also don't want to.
Take care of yourself, apprentice. There are Dragonkin gathered here.
These are the ones that killed Yorn's brother. I know they're poison.
Let us eliminate them. We cannot let them establish themselves this close to Montesky.
Let's see. Like, I liked managing potions in Diablo 2 because there was kind of an element of, like, conservation there. And, like, I very much remember my first win against Diablo was at least heavily in part due to the fact that I'd preserved a bunch of, were they heavy restoration potions? Whatever the ones that, like, restore a percentage of your health back.
Is anyone hurt? Sonkan? Apprentice?
We're fine. Somehow. But what is this totem? It seems as though all the Dragonkin were heading straight for it. Our apprentice was able to find us by following them.
Astria, you're the expert in draconic rites. Do you have any idea where they could have come from?
All signs point to this totem having been used for a ritual of corruption. And from the sheer amount of blood spilled here, we can assume they have enslaved a host of victims.
The statue is crafted from black willow. It must be from the Jaxara's swamp. My clan's caravans used to stop for supplies there, before passing through your lands.
So far from here? Could the Dragonkin have carried this idol all the way across the plains?
There would have to be countless adepts among their number if so. We must warn the Council of Montesky without delay.
Given the scale of this invasion, it should not be difficult to win the Councilors over. They'll surely decide to attack in force.
Perhaps it would be best to learn more about our enemy before rushing in. If we are to root out a cult of this size, we need to avoid making any hasty decisions.
There would be one way to learn more about these creatures. A reconnaissance mission. If we send a small group, they may go unnoticed. A few skilled soldiers need only enter their lands and target their sanctuaries and camps. Then we'll see how they respond. We'd need to leave before reinforcements arrive from the plains. but this would allow us to gather information while also creating a diversion.
So be it. The apprentice will accompany Sonkan while we protect the borderlands around the Alliance. The apprentice will gain a bit of experience in the company of a tracker. All that leaves is the accolade, and to make him a dragon hunter officially.
Quest rewards, Savage Whirlwind. Hey, I've got Speen. Energy cost 10, energy cost per second 40, movement speed reduced. Effective power, rank, damage cost per second modifiers. While inflicting damage, skill has a chance of generating a shockwave. 4% chance. Interesting. Okay, so we've got a skill fragment. So how does this work? Shockwave. Oh, so it's attached to the common modifier. We have these two. So shockwave. Okay, skills can be improved by modifiers, which can be found in other ancestral fragments. Place the fragment side by side so that, and it's gone. Okay, no floating fragments. Search keywords. We can pack all. Ancestral Grid attributes. Okay. Passive skills as well as innate stat bonuses for your character. Every time you level up, you get attribute points that you can put into different things. Alright. Stats. Just, yeah, stats. And then talents. View your character's talent. Talents are the ultimate passive skill. Talents are earned and obtained via a point system. Each talent has several ranks with stacking effects. Some offer exclusive bonuses at the highest ranks. Ooh. Okay, none of these are particularly meaningful to me at the moment, as I have pretty much nothing. The main question on this is the shockwave. Its current level is 1. So I can rotate. Okay. So it seems like it's still connected to all of these, probably because it's part of this one. But it does seem like it might be one of those where we have... like adjacency bonuses and whatnot. I'll keep that in mind. Can I, okay, there we go. I'll swap these. I'll have Whirlwind as my right click. I don't actually know if it's worth it, considering I have very little energy. No, it seems worth it. Maybe. We definitely do need to increase my overall mana, though. Mana regen, or mana on kill. Any of those is going to make my Whirlwind feel extremely good. Because I think as it stands, the Slam is probably more effective at the moment. It seems to kill most of my enemies in one hit. C for attributes, so I can increase Courage, increases max HP and energy, Thorn damage and armor, max HP and attack damage, and then armor and attack damage. Oh. Any damage dealt... Okay, so Rage innate skill. When it's full, damage dealt is increased. Oh, and there's also perks. So, distance while dodging, temp movement speed. Okay. Rage point duration. A barrier regen. I'm just going to look at the lowest one. Thorn damage becomes adaptive and damage taken is reduced. Okay. Interesting to put that on resilience, which is a stat that does not scale my rage. Or does not scale my thorns. Armor and attack. Health and attack. Which of these seems the most useful? Duration of damage delayed by reflexes and reduces damage taken when HP is low. And it seems like there's a lot of things that I kind of want to work towards. Amount of gold earned. Damage dealt to faraway enemies. I guess what are the top ones? Small passives at most. Max block. Okay, so this one does give me the energy regen and skill costs. So that actually probably is... This is probably the one I want to invest in long term. Oh, these are the first tier. These are the final ones. Oh, yeah, so let's definitely get up to 10 on that one, because reducing my skill costs or increasing my energy gen, both are going to be extremely good. Maybe. Oh, big horror's got a stick. Okay, void damage. Okay, so it seems like it can avoid a decent number of hits. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Couple of hammers. Now we actually have weapons as opposed to technically barehanded, question mark. And onwards to the next. I'm liking this so far. It feels, weirdly, I'm almost going to say it feels like it's a little over budget, overproduced. Like, the systems all make sense and whatnot, but I always wonder with these games if it would have actually been more sustainable if they hadn't gone for, like, fairly nice looking graphics. Party management. So you can change and create a new group at the Montraskull Guard Post. Each group has their own town and dragon hunting progress, story and non-story. Up to 4 players can join a group to progress on a hunt. Ooh, that's neat. So it means you might be able to have like a shared city. Oh, there's also city building. So we can change the appearance of stuff. So as it levels up, we get the jailer and storage and some other stuff. Okay. I like that. What's this? Fast travel. And marketplace. So we can put points into upgrading some things. Manage wyrmlings, the ultimate weapon for humanity. Okay. This is legitimately actually really cool. I can't do anything with it yet. I'm sure they're going to tutorialize it, but actual like in-depth city building seems like a kind of fun way of giving players extra things to do. I mean, it seems like it's just additional character progression, but it might be additional character progression that carries over to alternate characters as well.
There's not a moment to lose.
Okay, so now we can warp to the... Oh wow, that is nice and seamless. Appreciated. I am so glad games have been managing to cut down on load times over the last X number of years. I hated waiting multiple minutes to load into a mission in Monster Hunter World back in the day. I do miss Monster Hunter World, though.
Than ever, and they are rapidly...
Please forgive this intrusion, councillors. Alas, Grand Tracker, I fear I do not bring the news you are hoping for.
Speak, Hunter.
As you ordered, we found the Dragonkin that killed one of our own. In doing so, we discovered an ascendant cult, one which swells in number.
They are practicing corruption rituals in the plains around Monteskai. According to Sankan, the idols they are using are from Jaxara, and the ground there was drenched in dragon's blood. I fear that their intentions have been made all too clear.
They have come to desecrate the plains? This close to Monteskai? How have they been able to escape our notice for so long? We will need to act before they are able to launch an assault.
With your permission, Counselor, allow me to conduct a reconnaissance mission into enemy territory together with the apprentice. I know these lands well, since the Conqueror used to trade here.
2 hunters against an army of adepts? You cannot be serious.
The Dragonkin have flooded the plains, de Clerval, and redoubled their assaults against my clan. This hunter strategy would allow us to combat them on several fronts.
This is so. Allow Suncan and the apprentice to gather information at least. I will oversee them, and if there is need for it, we will call them back. I suggest we put our trust in our hunters, Auspex.
And what of the apprentice?
He is ready, Auspex.
Then your plan will have my support. High Priest Cornelis, proceed with the accolade.
Kneel, apprentice. Today, before the Eternal, you commit to our fight against the dragons until they draw their last breath. To hunting those who serve them, to sealing the breaches to their vile prison of Dracomundus forevermore, to ridding humanity of their corruption. As a token of your sacrifice, please take this scale of light. It is a relic of Miriel, the Drakiel who, long ago, managed to banish these ungodly creatures together with the Eternal. It will protect you from the corrupting influence of their voices. Today, it will make you a protector of humanity, a blade of the Eternal, a hunter of dragons. Arise, hunter. Non Draco sit mihi dukes. Let not the dragon guide me.
Okay.
Come and find me at the jail before leaving Montesky. Since Sun Can and yourself will be on your own in the Jaxara swamp, we are prepared to offer you our support.
The Grand Tracker and I have pooled the Order's resources and Kongirat's expertise to give you a decisive advantage. To meet the dragon's strength with our own, we have raised the first Tame wyrmling.
And we have taught it how to fight alongside hunters. It will make for a fearsome ally.
Grand Tracker, be reasonable. Nobody has ever been able to tame a dragon. This creature is dangerous.
You are right, to a point. Raising it was not enough. To control these beasts of draconic perversion, we needed to purify and subject them to the power of the light. We used blessed seals to do just that. It is not their chains that keep them subjugated, Tracker, but rather our faith in the Eternal.
This wyrmling will accompany the new hunter. Your first mission promises to be a challenging one, and I am in no hurry to be called for a new accolade anytime soon. Innovation is one of the core values of our clan, Sun Can. I wager your opinion will change once you've seen this creature at work.
With all respect, Grand Tracker, I highly doubt it.
Head to the jailer. I do really appreciate you can fast travel in town, especially because it seems like it's a big town. Hello. Okay, choose which wyrmling will accompany you on your adventure. It's not permanent. The wyrmling you choose does not suit you. You can return to the Watchman and choose another. So, ice, projectile straight ahead. While inflicting damage, the wyrmling has a chance of propelling a large explosive towards its enemies, poisoning the target, or lightning around characters. I don't know. I kind of like the Tempest, so let's go with Tempest.
This wyrmling will add its power to your attacks. Now, Hunter, let us rid ourselves of the cult that is poisoning the Jaxara swamp.
Okay, quest rewards. Oh, so I actually pick one. I'm definitely seeing some Path of Exile. I'm seeing a lot of influences kind of coming through here. I mean, even this. Pick your skill gem. Oh. I see, so I just get this one. That's fair. Or I get all of them. Okay, got a wyrmling partner, accompanies you, fights by your side. Earning experience level up as your character does. Okay. Can also be put here. If I do this and then this, it now applies to 2. So this means that Steel Sweep, my regular attack. Wait. Then if I do this, then Shockwave is applied to everything. Oh, Call of the Tempest is not being applied to this, though. Interesting, I wonder why not. Oh, keywords. Compatibility active in core. Yeah, whereas this one has both lightning and that. This does not. And it looks like you can stack more mods past that point. Yeah, chance of poisoning the target. Ice projectile straight ahead. Explosive. Oh. Upon activation. I think we might actually want to switch to fire. Okay. Wyrmling page lets you see the passive skills and some other stuff. Oh, hold up. Let's take a look at this again. 30 damage, 60 damage, but this is a 5-second cooldown. I'm assuming they're all pretty balanced. But this one applies to every single one of my abilities. Okay. And it has a 1 in 3 chance of hitting enemies, which hopefully is going to work well with my... let's see, group and difficulty. Okay, so we can change the difficulty. We're currently on medium. We could go up to hard. It gives me better loot quality. Oh, that doesn't seem too bad. Okay, now where are we going? Out? Out. Because, yeah, what else do we have? Slums, marketplace. I might be able to buy some gear, but I think we'll live without. Alright, do we just walk right out?
Keep an eye on your wyrmling. I don't like to see the Order getting involved in the clan's research. I often adventured in the Juxara swamp, and I believe I know a village there where we can begin our search. Keep your scale close. The dragon's whispers are louder here, in Dragonkin territory.
Yeah, I'm hoping with the fireball for the dragon, if I can make the whirlwind spin faster and, like, proc.
We must remain vigilant. This part of the plains has not been cleared. No doubt it will be infested with Dragonkin.
Yep.
Damn it. We'll have to fight our way through here. Marauders have taken the village.
Yeah, so the fireball has a really obvious natural synergy with the whirlwind attack. Because every time I plunk something with a whirlwind hit, it has a 30% chance of triggering the fireball.
The farm to the east is being attacked. I beg of you, please, do something!
Looters?
Yes, but they're not alone. They have monstrous creatures with them.
Dragonkin. They likely corrupted the Marauders, catching them unawares while they were looting abandoned settlements.
We were helping the priest restore the old stone gateway near the farm when they appeared out of nowhere.
We'll head over there and help him. Now flee. Head for Montesky.
Okay, so I can get Bloody Assault, Leave in front of the axe, physical damage with a devastating bleed effect or ancient runes. Protect against, 2 runes that protect against damage and grant a temporary barrier inflicting ice damage on contact. Cooldown duration is only 5 seconds. I think I'm going to snag that. Okay, because it's Bloody Assault, but then also just greater physical damage as a modifier rune, which is maybe neat.
I recognize this cursed priest. It's Jerome, Cornelis' right-hand man, and the only civilian to possess a scale of light. Yorn's brother was killed while protecting this undeserving underling. We always found him holed up in the most sinister of places, studying Dragonkin spells for the Meridius.
Okay. Inspiration, variety, damage taken. Yeah, what I want to see is if any of these trigger my ability more. And it seems like a lot of these are also just talents for me as well. Let's see, healing, channel skills inflict additional damage over time. What if the whirlwind attack is a channel? Permanent shroud that does adaptive damage. I mean, okay. It doesn't seem like any of them are particularly huge, so I think we're just going to go this direction. That is barely any actual meaningful value, but that's okay. There we go. City experience gain. I think this is actually really good. Obviously the like long term for this is a question mark. You know, how much content is there? What is this? Waypoint? Panorama found. Oh, that's nice. I play a lot of Guild Wars 2 on my free time. Any game that's just like, hey, here's just a nice vista of what this game looks like. Also a small reward for getting it. It puts me in a good place. And I think that's where this is going. That it's like, they really did, engraved symbol. No idea what that does. They really did put a lot of effort into this one, which still makes me kind of wonder if they actually wouldn't have been better served going for like a more stylized visual. Because unfortunately, visually this looks like Titan Quest, this looks like Path of Exile, this looks like Last Epoch, this looks like... Well, no, Diablo actually has... Well, I haven't played Diablo 4, so I have no idea. But it felt like Diablo had a little bit more of that like blizzardy, hand-painted texture look. Was that a cow? These are cows that are corrupted cattle. They're growing dragon wings. That's very silly. But what was I going to say? This just looks like every other ARPG on the market, and I actually think that's a bit of a downside. Not necessarily. It's not bad. It's just one of those where it's like, I would love to see some ARPGs that look like... Well, I mean, I guess there's Torchlight. Torchlight looks good. It's just run by... Well, I mean, now it's just a weird live service game, and I really want to play it. Let's see. But, oh well. Anyway, it's just one of those where the hyper-realistic visuals don't really excite me anymore, and that's literally the only thing I'm fixated on for being a downside on this. The gameplay is solid. The character build crafting is interesting. It is one part, I am leveling up a lot. I should probably look into some of these things, but right now I'm just spinning. Yeah, 2 hex fragment. Okay. Seems like I might be finding more skill to kind of play around with. A lot of stuff that I don't understand yet, but that's okay. More hex fragments. See if I can pull this up. I guess I should actually head up here, because we've got something that looks either like a waypoint and a side quest. I guess let's do rescue the priest.
These villains have brought the Dragonkin upon us.
Hells, Jerome. Where's the rest of your escort?
I gave them the order to evacuate the villagers while I did what I could to buy them some time.
You mad fool. Think yourself a dragon hunter now, do you? In the Eternal's name, keep your distance.
Thank you for helping me out of that tight spot, hunters.
What are you doing here, Jerome? Restoring a gate, or so say the villagers? Don't tell me it's a gate of the Eternal.
Well, in truth, follow me and you'll understand.
The voice acting actually is kind of charming. It's very clear that some of these people are not the most, like, skilled video game voice actors, but they did a decent job.
So, will you tell us what's going on?
The Dragonkin cast some manner of spell upon this gate. Nobody knows precisely what they intended to do, but Meridius Cornelis is afraid they may yet put it to twisted purpose. The gates of the Eternal are connected to one another by the Great Light Lapse, which the Order once used itself back during the time of the War of Men. They were sealed when the Kongarati trackers joined the Alliance, so that their caravans could continue to link towns without unfair competition. By doing so, we have been able to preserve their culture. Nevertheless, if the enemy has found a way to unseal them, imagine for a moment an army of Dragonkin descending upon Montesky.
We need to break this spell.
Indeed. And to do so, we need to reopen this gate and reconnect it to the city using a scale of light. That's why I was dispatched here.
I don't believe a word. The Council could never have approved this decision. Grand Tracker Eula would have opposed it.
And yet I truly did receive such orders, Tracker. We cannot leave the gate at the mercy of our enemies. To rid ourselves of this spell, we will need to channel divine energy to re-establish its connection. Then, the Dragonkin will no longer be able to approach it.
I don't like this. The decision would have come from the Council. I suggest we look for another solution.
The Dragonkin have likely already corrupted other gates hunters. Time is not on our side. I will for now, it should be enough to use your scale of light to break the spell. This gate should then immediately link up with its twin in Montesky.
I do actually appreciate that they're putting plots. Oh, hold up. Okay, cursor size. Is there something where I can just make it so unlimited ragdolls? Yes. Is there a way to make it so that there is, like, the dialogue plays automatically? Doesn't look like it, which is actually a bit of a downer. It's not that big of a deal, but I do really appreciate when dialogue just progresses on its own. Anyway.
Oh, magnificent. I will return to Montesky and inform the Council. If you discover any other corrupted gates, do not allow the Dragonkin to get close to them. Good hunting, both of you, and may the dragon never tempt you.
Well, Alaric, have we made enough compromises now? Let us set off again. We have a cult and its adepts to dispose of.
Looks like the inventory system's pretty permissive. They're not giving me too much junk, and oh god, what happened here? I apparently have a lot of skills, so we have a speed fragment. Oh, I wonder if things like shockwave scale based off of how many shockwave things I've put in. So this is like a T1. So double strike. Okay, so that's bloody assault, and it comes with a double strike. Skill has a chance of striking an additional time, increases energy cost by 2 per threshold reached. There's the ancient runes, which we saw earlier, which I can just slap in. I guess it's affected by that. If I mouse over this, you can also see, oh, that it would affect these as well. But only if they're nearby. On activation, burst in movement speed. So, is this my Savage Whirlwind? It is. Maybe if I do this? Okay, cool. Because I want to have the movement speed with the Savage Whirlwind. Even if it's like 6% movement speed bonus, it's still there. Because yeah, you can tell this has a diamond of 2. So it's more likely to trigger. And then, I don't think I actually want to put double strike on this one. There's also floating fragments, which I don't know what those are. I'm assuming at different levels we unlock more slots to play around with. Anything else? No. I really like that this skill grid system. That actually feels really good to me. From a, like, you know, has interesting build potential while also providing limitations so you don't just have everything. I mentioned it's very Path of Exile, and it is, but it's Path of Exile, but different? Yeah, so those slots are open now. One of the things that draws me to Path of Exile, even though I've never actually put a whole lot of time into it, is the fact that it has a really interesting, like, variable skill system with all of the orbs that you can, like, slot into different abilities and whatnot, and your gear and equipment. And that feels really good, because there's a huge amount of agency there, even if ultimately players are going to gravitate towards, like, a small handful of meta builds and nothing more. It's just kind of the consequence of balance, that ultimately 1 or 2 builds are always going to be substantially better than any other. And there's no easy way to balance around that. But also, oh well. But so this has a very similar vibe in terms of like how the that kind of skill orb system works without copying it directly, and thus it's more or less imitation, but without any of the without feeling tacky. Okay, increase in energy regen. I think I'm going to reduce skill costs. And don't want to do armor and attack. This would give me some max energy. How much? Not much. Well, increases max energy. Increase. You know what? Screw it. Energy seems to be my biggest limitation, so I'm just going to keep pushing it. Plus, also thorns are kind of fun. And for all my griping about like the visuals being, you know, trying too hard to be like high definition, grimdark fantasy, it does look good. Like, I will not deny that in the slightest. This is a really nice looking game, and they did a fantastic job with it. I think it's just mostly forgettable from a, like, looking at things and... the visuals are unremarkable because everything else is just as remarkable as it, and this is why I'm, like, a huge sucker for aesthetic style and whatnot. But on the flip side, you know, for people that are looking for a certain level of quality and fidelity, and like a hack and slash RPG, they're not going to be disappointed by this. It also has some good looks. Like, I actually really like the fact that the game is at multiple points said, like, hey, look into the distance. Not much, but, you know, it's there. And that's something that I honestly wish more of these games had. I did miss a treasure chest at the very beginning. I just also don't know how much I care. Unfortunately, it feels like this village is supposed to be populated by a side quest or something, but since it's not active, I'm kind of wasting my time going up here. Oh well. What was I going to say about any of these things? I don't know. I went into this thinking that it was going to be just another hack and slash action RPG. Very middle of the road and not particularly, like, memorable beyond maybe like 1 or 2 points, but it's got layers of progression systems. Speaking of, I should be leveling up my dragon. Let's just scale these up. Damage dealt by projectiles, damage dealt to enemies. Let's go with that. There might be other stuff I can interact with. Another one of those. Another panorama. Oh, there is something there. The one room I didn't go to. Oops. Well, you know what? Oh, interesting. Hitting the panorama. Hitting the panorama revealed a massive chunk of map for me. That's why we didn't find the chest earlier, because the panorama revealed it. Neat. I don't know. I actually think this is very good. I cannot believe I haven't seen other people talking about it, but I think it ultimately just comes down to slightly rougher early access launch in a niche of the industry that's actually gotten surprisingly full. You know, years ago, any hack and slash RPG would have been notable and impressive, but now, you know, with Path of Exile more or less dominating and Diablo kind of being okay, I don't know. Once again, haven't played 4. My heart's just not in it. Maybe someday. Maybe if Blizzard ever goes independent again. That would be a dream. But anyway, you know, the hack and slash action RPG market is weirdly one of the best served ones that I can think of. I mean, a lot of genres are pretty well served nowadays, but it feels like hack and slash action RPG fans have a lot of options to play around with, and that is frankly really cool. One thing I really appreciate, I was going to remark on this earlier, but I forgot. I love the fact that this lets you get into build crafting immediately. Most games take, like, you know, even just a couple of quests or, you know, hours before you can really start building around a build. And admittedly, my build mostly is just spin, but look, it's a good spin and it feels nice, and it's nice to see that I already have like a handful of synergies that I can work with and kind of develop into my own thing. And yet, it is really gratifying seeing those Dragon Fire Blast just launching constantly. I don't actually know how much damage they're doing because the spin does seem to just be killing most of my enemies. But, oh well. It's hard to complain. And yeah, I seem to be very capable of just spinning through an entire group. The one question I have mostly is just like, how much am I going to be able to modify my whirlwind attack into being better and more interesting over the course of a playthrough? But I don't know, the skill fragment system seems like it has a lot of potential to play around with. I also haven't used this thing yet, which I really should. Sadly, only lasts for a couple of seconds and it's got a longer cooldown. It is what it is. I'll have to remember to use it next time I'm near a group. I think that's the problem, though. Because it's got a long cooldown, I'm going to forget and just go back to spinning. I'm much more of a, like, pay a small upkeep cost to actually benefit from it. But I guess it's because it has defensive benefits. That's probably why. Okay. And yeah, the city building system, which I haven't looked deep enough into yet. But I'm assuming once we get to the point where we're further along, it seemed like it was kind of its own talent grid system. On top of, you know, on top of providing additional services in town. In such a way that it might even, well, carry over into other characters, which I really like. I want more of these hack and slash action RPGs where it's like your second and third playthroughs have these boosts to get you going faster, especially, you know, if you're just jumping straight to the end game. That way you don't have to just re-grind for things. Taking away that friction makes me excited as somebody who loved playing a wide variety of different character classes in Diablo 2. To the point where I rarely, if ever, got past even... I get past the first couple of acts, but I'd rarely go on to, like, Nightmare difficulty or Hell or whatever the last difficulty was, I forget. There we go. There's also, I'm going to say a little bit maybe more on the arcadey side as far as, like, as far as hack and slash action RPGs go. Mostly, there is, like, no worries about resource management. I mean, there kind of is, but I'm not even running out of mana here with, like, perpetual spin on. It runs out, but it takes a lot. Really makes me want to play one of these as a bullet heaven someday. I really feel like that could work. But anyway, let's go find our next waypoint, then I'll probably stop. I like the little map.
We've crossed the frontier. If we were to remove our scale of light now, we risk falling prey to the dragon's whispers and the corruption that their words sow.
I've been getting into tabletop RPG design again. I haven't actually recorded anything yet. Oh, here we go.
The people living here must have abandoned their homes. Or worse. We're definitely heading in the right direction.
Over here! You're dragon hunters, aren't you? By the Eternal, please spare me. I'm human still.
You've drunk dragon's blood.
I don't know. It's been weeks since Dragonkin corrupted our water. Some of us have surrendered to it already. I hear their voices. Those of the Dragonkin. That of the dragon. Oh, they're in my head. Save me. Please, please. Make them stop. I beg of you.
Like I said, slightly rougher voice acting, but they're hamming it up in a good way.
You can hear not only the voice of dragons, but also those of Dragonkin?
I hear them all, I tell you. The adepts and the hostages they took from Demistria. They'll never be silenced. Never. Always the same words again and again. And the prisoners. Oh, the prisoners. Their constant attempts to break their spirits. To corrupt them. Just like us. Like us.
You claim to always hear the voices of the Dragonkin. Have you overheard where they're keeping their hostages?
I hear them, but I refuse to listen. I don't want to lose my mind.
I'm afraid it's too late. There is dragon's blood running through your veins. You're lost already. But even so, you can help the others to escape your fate.
Am I going to die?
I will stay by your side. I will help you. As for the rest, don't forget those people that are dear to you.
You're right. I want to give them a chance.
We still know almost nothing about these Dragonkin. Where have they come from? What powers does their blood impart? Whose orders are they following? I'll watch over this poor soul and try to find out where the hostages are being held. As for you, see if you can gather a node, an egg, some corrupted flesh, anything the Grand Tracker may be able to study. We know little of the effects of Viridian Dragon's blood, and these corrupted appear to have gorged themselves on it.
Okay, so I can get Voices of the Dragon, Deafening Roar, freezes nearby enemies, instantly executes the weak, and then also ice damage, or Axes of Toriel with more Shockwave. Go for the Shockwave, because if I can actually get the Shockwave out... Really? Oh, it's because I already have it. Well, rather have the Shockwave. Okay. So we're up to Shockwave 2. If I can get it up to Shockwave 30, that's a 60% chance of doing a Shockwave. Wait, let me double check this one. Well, inflicting damage. Oh man, that's going to be nutty good with a Whirlwind, maybe. And that's what I was hoping for. Hopefully. We'll see how it goes. One way or another, I like this. I think this is actually one of the better action RPGs I've played in ages. And it is a little baffling that I haven't seen more people talking about it, but I also recognize marketing is hard, visibility is hard, and also, you know, publishers having some issues at the moment. But genuinely, at least based on my first impressions, this is a good one. I don't know what the end game is going to look like. I don't know if it's going to have the infinite grind of, say, Path of Exile or Diablo 3 and 4. But on the flip side, if you want a really solid seeming, you know, campaign adventure for a hack and slash action RPG, genuinely give this one a look and give it a shot. It is, I'm just going to alt-tab us for a second, which usually wrecks the frame rate. I apologize. But yeah, it's out in 1.0. You don't have to wait for any more early access patches or anything like that. It's $25 normally and down to $22.50 for launch week. And launch week, the rest of March at the very least. So if you do want to pick it up and play yourselves, follow the link in the description below. Other thing I haven't mentioned, you can actually play with another person. I think it's only two-player, another person locally. So if you have like a significant other or a friend or just anybody in physical proximity to you, slap on a controller and you can actually just play on the same window, which I love, actually. I enjoy playing these games. I enjoy playing them with my wife more, and the idea of being able to actually do so without having to connect two computers at the same time is nice. But you can also play full online with up to 4 players as well, sharing a city and some other stuff, which I think is really neat. And one that, like, they put a lot of effort into this, and I think it's paying off. Question mark? At least from like a gameplay design perspective, it feels quite good to me. But, because with all of that said, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like, it helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe because I got tons to check out and show off. But with that, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.